Barbara, the Wexford Stamper, for another 7 o'clock on a Wednesday evening. I see all my friends coming in here. We've got Mary and Ryan and Deb, April, Joanne. Hello, thanks for jumping in. Getting ready here. We're going to go ahead and get started. All right. Tonight we are continuing. Oh, the music's still playing. Thanks, April. Thank you. All right, just getting to figure out these buttons. Thanks, April. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. It is Wednesday evening, and it is 7 o'clock, so it's time to get started. And we are going to be continuing with our Daisy Crazy series here, working with the Fresh as a Daisy suite. So let's take a quick look at some of the products that are in this suite. This is the bundle, Cheerful Daisies bundle. You have your photopolymer stamps, and then you have the coordinating dies. I'll be using some of these this evening to give you a look at those. We will also be using the amazing paper. Really, really love this paper. And it is a 12 by 12 size pack of paper, and it's beautiful. And we're going to be using some of the real springy, summery type one this evening. All right, I do have a little bit of an announcement tonight that I wanted to speak to you with. I have opened up a Facebook store, and I will be selling handmade craft tool pouches, and they are going to be $20 plus shipping and handling depending on where I'm sending them in the country. The pouches are 7.5 by 5.5 by 2, and they include my favorite adhesives. They've got the glue dots, they have the Stampin' Dimensionals, and the Tombow. And I've got lots and lots of different patterns. Let me show you one right here. Okay, this is the lion pattern. You can kind of get a tell what size these are. It's 7.5, 5.5, and then a 2-inch bottom. And then inside, included with your purchase, will be a pack of Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, some glue dots, and a Tombow. So all these three things plus the pouch is $20. All right, and for you to get a look at what patterns I have available, the easiest way is to go to the Facebook, my Facebook business page. It's Wexford Handmade, and this is a picture of it on my phone, and there is a button at the top that says View Shop. And you can go on there and see what pouches I have available. I don't have them all up there yet, but you can take a look at some that are up there. You can buy it right through the store. So I'm trying to branch out a little bit. I thought about an Etsy store, but I really feel like this might be a better way to go because I'd like to keep my sewn items kind of related to my crafting. So just look on my business page, that's Wexford Handmade, and just click the shop button, and you can see everything that's available as of now. And I'm hoping to get more up there over this weekend. So that was my surprise for today. I'm real excited to offer those. You know how I've kind of really started to enjoy my sewing. So I wanted to kind of make it something that would relate to my paper crafting. So they are a handmade crafting tool pouches. So just check it out on my store and see what you think, and always give me some feedback. That would be great as well. All right, let's get into our project for today. We are going to be making this adorable little skinny milk carton treat box. Isn't that so cute? I love this paper. This is my favorite one of the daisies with the yellow and the green. So pretty. So I'm going to show you how to make this one, and this is a real quick one. This is super fun to make, And you can definitely make lots and lots of these. All right, so as you remember with all of my projects, if you go on my blog after this Facebook Live, you can find a downloadable PDF that you can download and print if you like to have the hard copy of the directions. So those are always on my blog. So my blog will go up as soon as I sign off here, and then you can check out the PDF there. Okay, so we've already talked about where the sweet is that we're using tonight. It is the Fresh as a Daisy. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, we are going to start tonight's project with a piece of early espresso cardstock. And this measures 9.5 by 6.5. All right, I'm going to bring in my trimmer here, and I'm going to do some scoring. Let's score on the long side first. And I want to make sure I'm not cutting, I'm just scoring. So on the long side, you're going to start at 1/2 inch. Then you're going to go to 3.5 inches. Let me put out the arm here a little bit. Then we're going to go to 5 inches and 8 inches. Okay, so that's 1/2, 3.5, 5, 8. Now we're going to score on the short side, so we're going to turn it so that the short side is against the top of our trimmer. And we're going to start at 1.5. And we're going to score at 1.5, 4 3/4, and 5 3/4. All right, so that's all our scoring for this evening. All right, I'm going to grab my bone folder here, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to crease all the score lines. Hope everybody is having a great day. We've had a lot of warm weather, and right now we are having a storm, but the sun's still out, so I guess it's officially a sun shower. But down here we've had a lot of hot weather and not much rain, so we'll take the rain as much as we can get it. How about up there in York? I know that the York Fair is going on this week. Are you guys dying in the heat at the fair, or is it nice? Hey, Mary B, welcome. All right, so let's go ahead and I'll show you the template. There's not much cutting. This is a great one because you don't have to cut very much off. Okay, so here is the template. So all you're really doing is cutting off this tiny little piece here and then making these 2 flaps. Couldn't be much easier. So let's go ahead and bring this in here. Remember, you want to have that 1/2 inch along the left-hand side right there. It's hot there too, huh? I don't know why they moved the fair to now. I just don't quite get it, but I know they done it. I don't know how they thought they'd make more money, but it seems like it's a little hot. I used to enjoy it in the fall. Oh my goodness, 87 even in Niagara Falls. Goodness gracious. Oh, it's hot everywhere. You know, we're in the 90s here. Oh, goodness gracious. Just be careful if you're going out to the fair. My goodness. All right, so I cut off that little piece right there. And now I'm just gonna cut out these little flaps. So you're gonna focus on cutting out these squares, the smaller squares, leaving the rectangles the way they are there. This is the bottom of our box. And then we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing here. So these are the 2 side flaps that are gonna flap into the bottom of the box. All right, and then the last place you're just gonna snip off a little bit here at the top on this side. I almost cut it on the wrong side. Just so when you put it together that you don't have those covering each other. All right, that is it. That's the whole cutting. Now, we're going to go ahead before we fold it up and assemble it. We're going to go ahead and put our pretty designer series paper on. Now let me grab my paper here and tell you there are 6 coordinating pieces of DSP. These are the large ones, and these are cut at 2 3/4 by 3. Let's go ahead and put those on. They go into the large squares there, the front and the back of our treat box. And next year will be the 3rd year. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know who had that brilliant idea. That was not good. I think the best way to get more people to come is make it cheaper to park and make the food a little cheaper. I know they can't make it super cheap, but that was really what kept people away, is the prices. All right. And there we have our 2 largest panels, and they're put right on the box. Then we have 2 middle-sized panels, and these go on the sides here, and they are 1 1/4 by 3 inches. Now you can decide, you don't have to cover every side of the box, but you know me, I love this designer series paper and I really want to show it off. So, all right, and there goes my second medium-sized panel. And now we have the final 2 here. Okay, these are cut at 3/4 inch by 2 3/4. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put these above the largest panels, just up here in this section here. You can see it in my finished one. This is where that one goes, right here. I just think that adds so much to it. I love getting as much on there as possible. Yes, they would be. And when we get to the assembly part, I'll share what I put in them. But boy, you could put just about anything in this box. All right, so there. Now we have all of our designer series paper on. Okay. Oh, really? The attendance is better? Oh, I don't know. Okay, that was their thought at least, I guess. Okay. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to fold it over here, put a little bit of Tombow liquid glue on that 1/2 inch piece, and then fold over the other piece here and give it a good press both ways. Now you have your box formed nicely. Okay. All right, next we're going to go ahead and close up the bottom. You're just going to fold those 2 side tabs in and then decide, okay, here is the place where my box comes together, where I just glued it. So I'm going to make that the back, on the back side of the box. So it's going to make this one the front flap of the bottom. So that means I'm going to fold in the back flap first, get a good bit of glue on there, and then fold over the front flap. Then I'm going to stand it up. I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to give that a really good, let me see, I got it a little bit off. I turned it over too early and I slid it a little bit. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay, you don't want to turn it over too fast before it's not at least adhered well. So there we go. There's our box. Okay, for the treat box part, or the carton, you're going to just go ahead, take your pointer fingers, push in the sides, and squeeze that top panel, and that will automatically make your box have that nice kind of old-fashioned milk carton look. Raise your hand if you had milk cartons that kind of looked like this when you were in school. When I taught, they had these plastic bags that were awful. But when I was a kid, we had these cool cartons, and they were wax inside. That was the real milk cartons. All right, so there we go. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get our paper punch. And we're gonna go ahead and cut and punch here. Now, if you notice, part of the top has 4 layers because we pushed in the sides here. You do not want to punch through 4 layers. So you want to make sure that your holes are in closer to the center. So you want to kind of feel where the 4 layers stop. And then you can take your punch and make your hole there. Do the same thing on the other side. And then you got your holes there. Now, I'll show you what I put in mine, but of course it could be anything. I got these Kinder Bueno minis. They're about this size. Perfect little snacks. I think I got about 6 of them in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll say 5. 5 of those in here. You could put in anything. I mean, you could put in kisses would work really well as well. Anything like that. Okay, so now we're getting ready to put it together. Okay, I'm gonna grab a piece of the yellow ribbon that is in the sheer ribbon combo pack. And when you cut this ribbon, you wanna make sure that before you start threading that you cut the one end a little pointed like that. It goes through the holes a lot better, okay? So I would go ahead and pull it apart and then just go through each of the 4 holes by itself, okay? So I'm starting from the front and threading through to the back. Then I'm coming around from the back and threading through to the front. Very easy. But it's a nice way to hold the treat box closed. You can also put like a little clip on the top. You can seal it with glue or tear and tape. It's really up to you. All right, I got both of them through. And now I'm gonna go ahead and tie my bow. This is Lemon Lolly, one of the new colors. The ribbon, the sheer ribbon. All right, I'm gonna tie my bow. And then, after a little bit of moving around and getting those, I know, I do love this paper, Mary. It's so pretty. Okay, I like to adjust to try to get my 2 little loops about the same size. Then I'm going to go ahead and grab my scissors and just cut on an angle the tails. And so there we have our box. Okay, I know, isn't this pretty paper? Yeah, you'll get a sample of it in with your kit, Rise, so you'll love it. But yeah, this is really, really one of the prettiest that I think. All right, well, let's go ahead and do a little bit of decorating on the front. We're gonna do it just the same way as I did here. All right, so the first thing I did, I cut out one of the labels. This die is in the Fresh as a Daisy bundle. And I'm going to use that one, and I'm going to use the friendship. Sentiment here. And I'm going to grab some garden green. Garden green is the green that's used in this paper. So I wanted to try to coordinate as best as possible. Now you're going to want to do your stamping so that your sentiment is a bit over to the right, not quite in the middle, okay? Because if you're in the middle, you're not going to be able to fit your little daisy on without covering the words. All right, so there we go. Now it's time to create the daisy. Put that aside. I'm going to grab a piece of basic white cardstock. We're going to do some stamping, very simple stamping. I'm going to go ahead and get the small daisy. And I'm going to grab my Memento ink and just stamp anywhere on my white paper. There we go. Then I'm going to grab the stamp of the little center for the flower. You can see it right there. It's just a tiny little circle. And then I'm just going to put it down right in the center. Thankful for the photopolymer stamps. You can see exactly where you're stamping. All right. Now I'm going to need to pick up these ink pads. I'm going to need to bring in my die cut machine here. And we're going to go ahead and cut this out. Let me turn so that the... Okay, here we go. Now, I'm going to lay this down on here. Now, this is one of the dies that comes with the set. Cuts out. You just got to find the right way. This takes a little bit of time to figure out how it goes. There we go. Okay, now, a trick that I like to use to keep that die in place is to use a little Post-it tape. I used to have a magnetic platform. I don't have one anymore, but I had trouble with them because as soon as your plates start to bow a little bit, it can affect how well the dies stick. So I just go back to the regular plates, no magnet platform, and just use the Post-it tape. And it works great. And you can use the Post-it tape over and over again. It's not just one time. So if you're going to make a bunch of these, you can just leave that Post-it tape on the die and use it over and over again. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this off. Just stick it to my paper there. And then there's my... And so you don't have to worry about the margins around your flower. It'll come out perfect every time if you use the tape. Okay, and I know how us stampers are a little bit of perfectionists, so that will help you with a little less stress. All right, let's go ahead and bring this in. One other piece that I have here are some leaves, and I used some garden green to cut out this die. Now let me show you the die that this comes from. It's actually a much larger die. Okay, it's this die here, but I just cut this small section here so I would have these little leaves to put behind the daisy. Okay, this is a great die as well. And you can see lots of projects using this. If you're getting the kit, you will get several of these in your kit. It's a great die. You can cut out lots and lots of pieces at one time so that you can make your cards fast. All right, let's bring in our 3 pieces. Here's our label and our 2 die cuts for the flower. All right, I'm going to go ahead and grab my dimensionals. And let's go ahead and put those on here. Okay, 2 dimensionals, and I put mine at the bottom right-hand corner, just like that. Okay, and now we're going to put our flower, and it's going to be half on and half off. So what you're going to have to do is at the top, you're going to have to put a dimensional. And at the bottom, you're going to put a little bit of glue. Okay, so let's go ahead and get my dimensionals. So the top needs a dimensional because that's going to be out over here on where the designer series paper is. And then I'm going to put a little dot of glue at the bottom because that's going to be right on top of our label. So if we put another dimensional there, it will be kind of off kilter. All right, so then I'm just going to slide it on here, making sure that I'm not covering up any of the birds. There we go. It would help if I took off the paper. Yes. Okay, now let's try that again. Now it will really stay. Okay, so there is our flower. Yep, I think it's real easy, Mary. I like to make the easy ones. It makes people excited because you can make a whole bunch of them real quick. Then I'm gonna just take my leaves. I just put a couple dots of Tombow and I'm just gonna slide it in under my daisy. And it's gonna stick off a little bit, but that's okay. We don't care. And then I just push it down so it attaches to the back side of the daisy, and that's it. Isn't that cute? That's about as cute as it comes. So that is the skinny milk carton. Okay, remember you can go to my blog. That is www.thewexfordstamper.blogspot.com, and you can find all the details about the box and get a downloadable PDF. Remember that I just put some handmade craft tool pouches in my shop, and if you want to check it out and see what you think, give me some feedback about the shop and how it looks and how you can see things there. It's hard for me to tell. And just to give you an idea, if you go on the Wexford Handmade page, depending on what kind of a device, this is on a phone, there'll be a shop button, and sometimes there'll just be a shop tab across the top if you're looking on like a laptop or an iPad. So just look for the shop button, and I'd appreciate any kind of feedback you can give me about what you see there. All right, well, thanks again for joining. We have one more week of our Daisy Crazy series, and I'm excited. I've got another 3D project next week and another goodie to share. So, hope you can make some of these this week, and if you do, please go ahead and post them on my VIP page. I'd love to see what you come up with, and until I see you again next week, have a great week. And keep on stamping. Bye-bye now.